friends, welcome to AllUboard. I'm your quant faculty Priyanka here. So friends, we have already discussed few of the basics of probability in the part 1, okay, in which I have discussed maximum of the definitions and few questions which were asked in your exam. Now this second session we'll be discussing majorly the questions that have been asked in your exam, plus we'll learn new concept of conditional probability in this. Okay, so all types of question, dice based, coin based, card based will be covered in this. Along with that, I'll also cover the conditional probability topic in this. So friends, let's begin the topic. So first, let me discuss the fundamental principle of counting. Now this is the principle which will be used in a maximum of your question. Okay, now there are two fundamental principles in this. One is fundamental principle of multiplication and second one is fundamental principle of addition. Now I have discussed one of the principle, if you remember. In part 1, I have talked about the fundamental principle of multiplication. Now, what is the meaning of fundamental principle of multiplication? When there are two events happening, okay, there are two ways how you can do the event A, okay, and one way is X, the one way you can do it in X ways, and the event B you can do it in Y ways over here. Then when both are occurring simultaneously, you have to multiply both the ways over here. Okay, so when I told you this, when one thing can be done in A ways, and second thing can be done in B ways over here, when both of the things are done together or simultaneously, I have to multiply this number of ways. Okay, and if I say it can be either done in A ways or B ways over here. So if my wording says A ways or B ways, what you have to do? You have to add both of the possibilities. Are you getting it? So when there are two things which are happening, if they are happening in and way or if they are happening simultaneously, both of the things are important. When events are happening simultaneously, or I would say it is happening, this event is happening and the other event is happening. So there are two types of wording, and word can come or simultaneously can come. So in both of the cases, you have to always multiply these number of ways, right? And when I'm saying it can be done in either M ways or the N ways over here. So first one or the second event or is said over here, then you have to add these ways. So I'll tell you how to apply these principles over here. Okay, so see the first question in this case. A bag contains 6 blue, 4 white balls over here. If 2 balls are drawn at a time, find the probability of picking out ball of different color over here. Okay, now when I'm saying ball of different color means I want to choose one blue ball and one white ball. Okay, when I'm choosing the two ball and I want them of the different color means one ball is blue ball and the other one is white ball. Or I can say simultaneously I'm taking one blue ball and white ball. You can read it anyway. So I would say and will come. So first I have to calculate number of blue ball possibility, white ball possibility and multiply them. And here you have to write down the total sample space over here. Fine. So to get one blue ball, what will you write? 6C1. And to get the white ball, what will you write? 4C1. And in denominator, what will you write? You are picking up two balls over here, right? Two balls are drawn. So total 10 possibilities are there. I told you whenever you are choosing something, you have to apply the combination. So here I have to write 10C2. Now you can evaluate this value. 6 will be written only one time. 4 will be written only one time. And 10C2 means what will you write? 10 into 9 divided by 2. So you can calculate what value you are getting in this case. 3 2s are 6, 3 3s are 9. So my answer in this case would be 8 by 15. So option third would be the correct answer. So please remember, when you have and, you have to multiply both of the possibilities over here. Let me take one more question. So here what they have given you, bag contains 6 blue, 4 white balls over here. Now I am picking up 2 balls at random. Find the probability of picking out balls of same color over here. Now this is very important. Now first of all, I am picking up 2 balls, right? So total 10 balls are there, 10C2. Now when I am saying picking out balls of the same color, okay, so either 2 balls will be of the blue color over here, or the second possibility is 2 balls are of the white color. Are you getting my point? So I want 2 balls of the same color over here. So either it will be blue or it will be white. So when I'm saying either or, I have to add these two possibilities. Okay, in previous case, it was one blue and the other one was white. So you were multiplying. Here I am saying either two will be blue or two would be white. I hope it is clear. Now two blue are there. So what will you write over here? 6C2, because total 6 blue balls are there. Out of them, I'm choosing 2 over here. Addition, you have to write 2 white balls. So both of the balls are white. So what will you write? 4C2. Okay, divided by total possibility, that is 10C2 over here. Let us evaluate this value. 6 I have to count for 2. So 6 into 5 divided by 2 factorial. Plus this is 2 factorial is 2 only. So you can write 2 also. Okay, this will be 4 into 3 divided by 2 factorial. This value is 10 into 9 divided by 2 factorial. Now 2 factorial is there in each of the denominators, so it will get cancelled. What will you get over here? 30 plus 12 divided by 90 over here. So 30 plus 12 means you can count down 42 divided by 90. So I can calculate over here. Both of the numbers are divisible by 3. So you can divide it by 3 over here. So I think it is divisible by 6 also. 6 7s are 42 and 6 15s are. So directly also you can write down 7 by 15 over here. Getting it? So this is the application of fundamental principle of multiplication and fundamental principle of addition over here. Let us move on to the next concept again. So bag contain 5 white, 2 red and 3 black ball. 2 balls are drawn at a time. Find the probability of picking up at least one white ball. Now this is important concept. When I am saying at least any value, that means minimum value over here. For example, when I am saying at least 3 means minimum 3 over here, or I can say greater than or equal to 3. Okay, so any value including 3. So I have to take 3, 4, 5, all possibilities I have to consider over here. And when I say at most 3, so many question will have these wordings. At most 3 means maximum 3 are possible. Now less than or equal to 3. Here it is important, even 0 will be there. Okay, 0 will be there. 0, 1, 2 and 3. So these are the possibilities when you say maximum 3 over here. So 0 will also be there. Please keep this in mind. 3 will also be included over here. Now let me solve this question. So 5 white ball, 2 red ball and 3 black ball. 2 balls are drawn at a time. So what is the total? 5 plus 3, 8 plus 2, 10. 10 C2. Now what they are telling you? Picking out at least one white ball. Now I am taking out 2 balls from here and at least one white ball over here. So what is the possibility? One white ball and one other color. Okay, one white ball, one other color over here. Plus both of the ball, at least one white means 2 white can also be there. So 2 white will be the second possibility. So either one white will be there or 2 white will be there. So when I am saying either or, I have to add these possibilities. Okay, so how many ways one white can be chosen? 5C1. How many ways other color can be chosen? Now total other balls are 5. 2 plus 3, 5. So out of those 5, I have to take 1 again. So 5C1. Getting it? Next addition. 2 white balls. 2 white ball means out of 5, you have to choose 2 white means 5C2. Okay, now you can calculate what value you are getting. This is 5. 5s are 25. You can calculate this value. 5 into 4 divided by 2, that is nothing but 10. Divided by, you can calculate this, 10 into 9 divided by 2. So what are you getting? 25 plus 10 divided by this value is 45 over here. So you are getting 35 upon 45. Both of the numbers are divisible by 5. 5 sevens are and 5 nines are. So 7 by 9 would be the answer in this case. I hope all of you are getting it. So this is how you have to calculate the value. Okay, so let us move on to the next type of question over here. Next one is coin based question. So whenever you are talking about coin based question, let me tell you one brief intro over here. So whenever you are talking about coin, there are two outcomes that can come. One is head and other is tail over here. If I give you, there are two coins. So what will you write? One coin can show two outcome, head and tail. Other can show two over here. So the total possibilities will become 2 square. When I'm talking about 3 coins over here, so what will you write? First one can show 2, second can show 2, third can show 2. Total ways would be 2 cube. Likewise, you have to write down the possibilities. When 4 coins are there, 2 to the power 4. So please remember, when a coin based question is there, this is how you have to calculate the total probability or the denominator value in your the probability equation. Okay, so your probability formula, the denominator can be calculated using this. Now let me move on to the question. So here what they have given you, coin is tossed twice over here. Okay, so you are tossing one coin two times. What is the probability of getting at least one head? At least one head means minimum one head over here. Now first of all, it is tossed twice. Means how much would be the total outcome? 2 multiplied by 2. Just now I told you, first coin will show 2 and the second one will show 2. When you have and, you have to multiply it. What is the probability of getting one, at least one head? So one head is there, other would be tail, or at least one head means one head has two possibilities over here, and two head means you have to write head and head. So these are the possibilities. This has one head, this has one head, and this has two heads over here. The total value would be 3. So your answer would be 3 by 4. I hope you must have understood the meaning of at least and how to calculate the probability about coin based question. Let us solve one more question. 3 coins are tossed simultaneously. Now when 3 coins are tossed, 2 cube over here, the denominator will become 2 cube. Then what is the probability of getting one head over here? Now when they are talking about 3 coin, one head, so they are just saying one head. At least is not given. So head, tail, head, tail, and tail and head. So these are the 3 possibilities when I have one head over here. So what will be your numerator? 3. Your value would be 3 by 8. So likewise, you have to calculate favorable cases, and total cases will depend on number of coins over here. Let me move on to the next type over here, that is dice based question. Again a basic over here. Whenever I am talking about a dice, there are 6 outcomes possible. All of us know this. So 6 outcomes means 1, 2, 3, 4 till 6. Now if I give you one dice is rolled, means there are 6 outcomes. When I am saying 2 dice are rolled, that means I have 6 square outcomes. When I am saying 3 dice are rolled, means you have 6 cube outcomes. Likewise, you have to change your denominator over here. I hope all of you are getting it. So likewise, my denominator will keep on changing based on the number of dice given in my question. So let us do this. Find the probability of getting total of 7 on sequential throw of pair of dice. Now that means there are 2 dice which are thrown over here and you want total of 7 over here. Right now 2 dice means 6 square and I want total of 7. Now how will you get total of 7? First you write down all the combinations. So it can be 1 6, it can be 6 1, okay, it can be 5 2, 2 5, okay, then you increase this 3 4 or 4 3 over here. I think after this again you will have 4 5 and all these same numbers will be repeated. So how many total possibilities are there? 1 2 3 4 5 6. So 6 are the favorable cases. Total cases are 6 square. So my required probability would be 1 by 6 in this case. So I hope all of you are getting it. 1 by 6 would be the required probability. This is how you have to calculate the probability in this case. Let us move on to the next question. What is the probability of getting sum of 4 or 12? Now here or word is used, means I have to take sum of 4 or I have to take, means addition over here, sum of 12 over here. Okay. Now when 2 dice are rolled, means denominator would be 6 into 6, that is nothing but 36. Now how will you get sum of 4 over here? Either it will be 1 3, 3 1 or 2 2 over here. These are the possibilities. And how will you get sum of 12? Now 12 is possible when maximum 6 is here and 6 is here over here. Okay, so 6 is there on both of the dice, then only you will have sum of 12. So how many total cases? 1, 2, 3, 4. So my favorable cases would be 4 and total cases would be 36. That means your value would be 1 by 9. So 1 by 9 ways are there in which you can get this sum of 4 or 12. I hope it is clear. Let us move on to the one more question. What is the probability of getting total score of prime number over here? Now I think you must have understood what is the concept. You can just pause the video and figure out the answer on your own and then you can verify it with me. Okay, so prime number, first of all, what is the possible total score of addition? when you are rolling two coins over here, what is the total sum possible? So maximum you can observe, minimum would be 2 because 1 and 1, and maximum would be 12, 6 and 6. Okay, 1 and 1 and 6 and 6. So let me write down all the possibilities: 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you have 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, 11, 12. Okay, now what they are telling you? Prime number score. Which all are prime numbers? Sum of 2, sum of 3. This is also prime. This is also prime. And next would be this. So I have to calculate the total cases of getting sum of 2. Now how will you get 2? 1 comma 1. How will you get sum of 3 over here? 1 comma 2 and 2 comma 1. How will you get sum of 5 over here? 1 comma 4, 4 comma 1. Then you have 2 comma 3. Then you have 3 comma 2 over here. Okay. How will you get sum of 7? 1 comma 6, 6 comma 1. Then you have 2 comma 5, 5 comma 2. Then you have 3 comma 4, 4 comma 3. Okay, I hope it is clear. Next one you can see. Now after this again you will have 5 only. You have considered all these cases. How will you get 11? 5 comma 6, 6 comma 5. Yes, other all possibilities are not possible. If you write 4 over here, it will become 7. If I write 5 over here, this will become 6 again. So this is the only possibility over here. Now how many total cases? There are 2 dice rolled. That means total cases would be 6 into 6. And how many favorable cases? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 over here. So this will become 15 by 36. So you can calculate what would be the value over here. 3 5s are and 3 12s are. 5 by 12 would be the answer in this case. So this is how you have to calculate the value in this case. Let us move on to the next question. So what is the probability of getting at most 5 when 2 dice are rolled together? Now I am talking about 2 dice. Denominator is fixed, right? Denominator would be 36. Now at most 5 means maximum 5. Now some minimum 2 is possible, 3, 4 and 5. So you have to write down all these cases of sum over here. When you are talking about 2, 1 comma 1. When you are talking about 3, 1 comma 2, 2 comma 1. When you are talking about 4, it is 1 comma 3, sorry 1 comma 4, 1 comma 3 only, then 3 comma 1, 2 comma 2. I think these are the only possibilities. When I am talking about 5, 1, 4, 4, 1, then you have 2, 3, 3, 2. So these all are the possibilities over here. Let me add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there are 10 possibilities which are possible over here and 36 are the total cases. Favorable are 10, total are 36. So it will become 5 by 18. So 5 by 18 would be the value. So please remember this at most concept. Okay, at most means maximum, at least means minimum over here. Now let me take the next type over here, that is card based question. Now before we start with the card based question, you should know what all types of cards are there. Okay, so when I am talking about the deck of a card, there are 52 cards in the deck of the card. So this is type of question will come in exam. One card is drawn from well shuffled deck of 52 cards. And I'll ask you different types of probability. Let us solve all these questions. But first, let me discuss the deck of a card once. Okay, so this is a deck of cards, how it looks like. So this is called as you can figure out first there are 2 black cards. Okay, 2 types of black card and 2 types of red cards over here. Now total there are 52 cards. Okay, total there are 52 cards over here. Each one has 13 cards each. Okay, so each set has 13 cards. It starts with A. A is called as ace. It is also called as ace. Then you will have 2, 3, 4, 5, then till 10 and J, Q, K. J is nothing but jack. This is your jack. This is your queen. And the last one is king over here. Okay, so these all are the 52 cards. It starts with ace and ends with king over here. Okay, now so this is what I have written. Now this is called as spade and club. Okay, so black cards are spade card and club card over here. Red one are diamond and heart. So this is heart, diamond. So likewise you have to remember how many red card, how many black card, because based on that you will get questions in the exam. Okay, so total, if you are observing, red cards are 26, black cards are also 26. Okay, if I ask you how many how many jack are there, 4 jack would be there. How many queen? 4 queen would be there. Now all these 3 cards, jack, queen and king, are also called as face cards in the cards. Okay, so remember, when they are asking you what is the probability of getting face card, that means J, Q, K. All 3 will be included in that. Okay, so I have written the classification. You can read it for all the kinds of cards over here. Now let me discuss the question. One card is drawn from a well shuffled deck of 52 cards. Calculate the probability that the card is ace card. Now you know that each set has one ace, right? So 13 cards are there, right? 13 sets are there. In this you will have, each one is having one ace, means 4 ace would be there, right? And 52 cards, so total value would be 52. You can calculate this value over here. It is 1 by 13. I hope it is clear. Similarly, one card is drawn from well shuffled card of 52. Then what is given? Calculate the probability that card will not be an ace card. Last class in the part 1, I have told you about the complementary event. One is happening, the other is reverse of that. Will not be ace card. So what are total probabilities there? I have to write 1 minus that value. 1 minus 1 by 13, that is nothing but 12 by 13 over here. So you will be getting probability of getting not an ace card. I hope it is clear. Let me move on to the next question. One card is drawn. Calculate the probability that the card will be king or a red card. Now this is very very important when I am talking about the king over here. So what is the probability? Whenever you are given with such type of question, please don't forget to subtract the common part over here. Okay, so there are two events happening over here. This is known as probability of A union B. Probability of A union B. How will you write this? Probability of A plus probability of B, and you have to subtract the intersection over here. Whatever their common points are there, that you have to subtract. So please remember this formula over here. So it will be a king card. King card means what is the probability? Let me write it over here. 4 by 52. Because there are 4 kings. What is the probability of getting red card? So there are 26 red card. 26 by 52. And what is the intersection point? That means, intersection means those king cards which are red. Okay, those king cards which are red. So how many kings are there in red? 2 red kings are there. So I have to write 2 by 52 over here. So this is how you have to calculate the total probability. What will you get over here? 30 minus 2, that is 28 by 52. You can calculate the value. 4 sevens are and 4 13s are over here. Right? So you will be getting 7 by 13 as the value. So please remember this formula. Whenever any union event is given, you have to subtract this intersection point as well. Now next one card is drawn from well shuffled card of 52. Now they are asking you what is the probability of getting a face card. Now you have to remember, face card means J or Q or K over here. How many are there? Total 12 cards would be there. Right? So what is the probability of getting face card? 12 by 52. So you can divide this by 4. This is 3 by 13 over here. This is how you have to calculate the value. Let me move on to the next question. So when you are talking about the next question, what is given? One card is drawn from well shuffled deck of 52 cards. Calculate the probability that the card is Jack of a heart. Okay, so that means in heart there are 13 cards. Out of that you want Jack. Means how many? Only one card would be there. Right? Only one card. So reading this part is important. Jack of a heart means in heart I have to take Jack over here. So 1 by 52 would be the answer. Okay. Next one, from a pack of 52 cards, 2 cards are drawn at random. What is the probability that both of them are kings over here? Now you are drawing 2 cards over here. So far I was discussing about only one card. Now this is discussing about 2 cards over here. So when 2 cards are given, how will you do this? 2 means 52 C2. You are withdrawing 2 cards. So 52 C2. And what they are telling you, both of them are kings. How many total kings are there? Totally there are 4 kings over here. So you have to write 4 C2. 4C2 and 52C2, you can calculate the value. 4 into 3 divided by 2 factorial. And what would be value for this? 52 into 51 divided by 2 factorial. Both 2 factorial would be cancelled. You can calculate what value you are getting over here. Okay, so what would be the value? 1 upon 221. You multiply this, it is 1 upon 221. That is first option would be the correct one. So this is how you have to calculate the value. Now let me discuss the last concept over here. That is nothing but the conditional probability concept. So first understand what is the meaning of conditional probability. So first let me read the definition. The probability of occurrence of any event A when another event B in relation to A has already occurred. That is known as conditional probability. Okay, so there are two events. I would say when B has happened, what is the probability of happening of A over here? So B has already happened. Okay, so that is how it is checked over here. So for example, if I give you that there are two dice rolled, okay, and if I tell you the first dice always showed 2, then what is the probability of getting 1 on the second dice? That means this has already happened. I am talking about the second one. That is nothing but the conditional probability. It is shown as this. PA dash B, okay, slash B. This is how you have to represent it. Now to calculate this, there is a formula. What is the formula? The formula is written as PA dash B. This is calculated as the whatever is written in denominator will be directly written as denominator probability of B, and in numerator you have to write their intersection over here. Okay, both of the events intersection will be mentioned in the numerator. I hope it is clear. If I write P of B by A, that is probability of happening of B when A has already happened. Okay, A has already occurred. So what will you write this as? Intersection of B and A, and in denominator you have to write probability of A over here. So this is how the conditional probabilities are shown. Both of the things are different. Okay, A by B and B by A both are different. Denominator will change. So keep this in mind. Same thing I have written over here. So you have to write intersection point and probability of B as well. Let us solve few questions. So based on this definition also question can come. So probability of A is given, probability of B is given, intersection values also given. They are asking you evaluate the value of probability of A provided B has already occurred. So what will be the formula over here? The formula will become probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B. Okay, so whatever is written in denominator, same probability you have to mention over here as well. Okay, so A intersection B means 4 by 13. What is the probability of B? 9 by 13 over here. What would be your answer? 4 by 9 would be the answer over here. This is how you have to evaluate the conditional probability. Let us move on to the next question over here. Now, what type of question can come in exam? So here again you have to evaluate all these values manually before the formula. So let me take one example. Two coins are tossed at once. Now what is given? One event is E event which says tail appears on only one coin. What is F event? One coin shows only head over here. Now they are asking you find the conditional probability that event E given F has already occurred over here. That means probability of E, F has already occurred. Probability of E given that F has occurred. So what would be the formula? Probability of E intersection F divided by probability of F. Okay, now let me calculate these values. Now what will be probability of F over here? One coin shows head. So one coin shows head means head tail or tail head, because you are tossing two coins in this case. Getting it? Now what you are saying over here? Probability of E. It is showing only one tail over here. Probability of showing only one tail, that means tail head or head tail. That means can I say what would be the intersection point? If I write probability of E intersection F, how many elements would be there? There would be two elements, because this and these elements are same. Right? Both of the elements are same. So here it will have head tail and tail head both. Okay, and what is the probability of F? Probability of F is nothing but again 2. So what will you write? This probability I can write over here as 2 by 36, because total 4 possibilities would be there, because two coins are there. So 2 into 2 means 4. So 2 by 4. And what would be the value for probability of F? Again the same value, that is 2 by 4. So overall answer would be 1. So I hope you must have understood how to apply this conditional probability formula. Let us move on to one more question. Now, the probability E event is no tail has appeared. No tail means head tail, tail head. Sorry, no tail has appeared means both of them are head. Okay, I thought it is one tail. It is not one tail. They are talking about no tail over here. Now, when no tail means both of them are head. So there is only one element is in this, that is both of them are head. And what is second one? No head appear. No head means both of them are tail only. Now what is given in your question? Conditional probability that event E has occurred when F has already occurred. Same probability is asked in your question. Now what will you write for intersection over here? When I am talking about intersection, there are no common elements in both. Right? This is head head, this is tail tail. So there is no common element. So numerator will automatically become 0. And what is the probability of getting one head? It is 1 by 4 over here. 1 by 4. So your answer would be 0 over here. This is how you have to calculate the conditional probability. Let me solve one more question. A die is thrown twice. The sum of number appearing is observed to be 6 over here. Okay, so this is the first thing that has happened. Now, what is the conditional probability that number 4 has appeared at least 1? Okay, now one event has already happened. What is that event? 6 is already observed on the die over here. Okay, so what they have given? A die is thrown twice. Sum of the number appearing is observed to be 6. Now, if I want sum to be 6, what all will be the possibilities? If I calculate, it can be 1, 5 or it can be 5, 1. It can be 2, 4 or 4, 2 or it can be 3, 3. So if I have to calculate this probability, this is my second event. Okay, P of 2. Okay, or I can write down P of B. P of B over here. This has already happened over here. So probability of B, what would be the value? 5 by 36, because there are two dice thrown. So 5 by 36. Now what is said? What is the conditional probability that number 4 has appeared at least once? Okay, so they are talking about the intersection. So if I talk about the intersection over here, what is the intersection? 4 should have appeared at least once over here. Now if you observe 1, it has appeared here at least once. So 2 times is also possible. So there are two possibilities over here, 2, 4 or 4, 2 in this case. Are you getting it? So what would be this value? You can write down 2 by 36. So intersection value would be 2 by 36 and probability of B, that is 5 by 36. So what would be your answer? 2 by 5 would be the conditional probability. So I think you must have understood what is the meaning of conditional probability. One event has already happened and then second is happening over here. Now let me take the next one. A die is thrown 3 times over here. So you are throwing a die 3 times. Now A and B, they have given you different values. So what is A event over here? 4 is appeared on the third throw over here. Now 4 has appeared on the third throw. That means this value is 4 over here. This value can be any value. 1, 1. It can be next value 1, 2, 4. It can be 2, 1, 4. Likewise, there would be many values over here. Okay. Now, what is event B in this case? 6 on the first one, 5 on the second one. So here there would be relatively less number of cases. 6 on first, 5 on second. Next one could be 1, 6, 5, 2. Third could be 6, 5, 3. Fourth would be 6, 5, 4. 6, 5, 5. And last possibility would be 6, 5 and 6 over here. Now what they are telling you, find the probability of A given B has already occurred over here. That means this event has already happened. Okay, so when B has occurred, what is the total probability? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 by how many total ways? 6 into 6 into 6, because there are 3 dice in this case. So this is your second event over here. And what is common between A and B? If you observe A and B over here, you want last throw to be 4. So if you observe, only this will be the common possibility. Only this would be the common possibility, because I want 4 in the third row over here. So this is the only one common element. That means what can I say? Probability of A intersection B. Their intersection is nothing but one element over here. 1 by 6 into 6 into 6. And which is that possibility? 6 comma 5 comma 4. So you have to simply write down 1 upon 6 into 6 into 6. This will get cancelled. So my answer would be 1 by 6. So simply you have to calculate the second event and the intersection over here. This is how you have to calculate the conditional probability for any of the events. So this is what I have for today. I hope all of you must have understood all the concept. Please practice few more questions based on this and hope you must have enjoyed this lecture. If you have any query, do ask us. Thank you for watching AllUboard. Stay tuned with us.